Con, all right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushai, Baal Shem Rakakodash, double honors to the apostle of the great millstone, and salute unto you, brothers, out to the preaching his word, saying the truth. All right, coming to you another lesson. Got this article here from Wall Street Journal. It says China has more ICBM launchers than the U.S. American military reports. The U.S. leads in intercontinental missiles and warheads. China gains are fueling debate in Congress, which the U.S. doesn't lead in the whole entire world because you have Russia. And it says right here, China has more launchers. And so, Wall Street Journal is an American bias platform, news platform, whatever. But Babylon is admitting that China has more launchers than them. The U.S. military has notified Congress that China now has more land-based intercontinental range missiles launchers than the U.S., fueling the debate about how Washington should respond to Beijing's nuclear buildup. Well, Washington ain't gonna do a damn thing because they can't, because the Spirit of the Lord has these other nations to build up their military armory, okay? Their military, their arsenal, nuclear arsenal, okay? Their tanks, their fighter jets, helicopters, troops, okay? And it's all biblical prophecy, okay? Babylon is weak right now, man, okay? So Babylon ain't gonna invade China or Russia. Okay, they wouldn't dare to do it. The number of land-based fixed and mobile ICBM launchers in China exceeds the number of ICBM launchers in the United States. The commander of U.S. Strategic Command, which oversees nuclear forces, wrote the Senate and House Armed Services Committee on January 26th. That's pretty much it. Straight to the point. Jump into the scriptures. Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 9th verse. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, and China is part of is the Gentiles, which are the other nations. All right, and the biblical people that inhabit China are the biblical way to say in their nation is Moab. Okay, in the Hebrew, Moab, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so the Chinese or the Moabites are the Gentiles. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Okay. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And Moab, they hate Esau, man. Esau is the biblical nationality of these so-called white people. Beat your plowshares into swords. For example, the Opium Wars during the 1800s. Britain invaded China. Okay. And put the Moabites under hardcore bondage. Okay, not hardcore, not more hardcore than the bondage that the Israelites were under. But it was pretty hardcore. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. So plowshares and pruning hooks are basically farming instruments to till the ground for farming, all right? Which, those instruments are basically is to help to bring forth life, okay? Because when you're farming, you basically, cultivate husbandry, the earth so you can bring forth fruits and vegetables. Okay. Um, the Lord said, "Hey, drop all that and prepare swords and spears." So basically, the modern day sword and spear is the projectile weapon. Um, your missiles, your uh, your guns, it shoots bullets. Also, your your fighter jets that shoots missiles, your helicopters that shoots missiles and bullets. You know, so that's what the Lord is having these nations to do. To what? To come against Great Babylon, America, to destroy it. Finishing off, let the weak say, "I am strong." Okay, because China, the Moabites were weak at one point. Back in the 1800s, it was weak. You know. America is basically the daughter of Britain. All right. Let me see. Grab this one scripture, Revelation 9, real quick. Let's see. Nine and 16. So this is describing the nuclear missiles, all right? And the number, Revelation 9 and 16, the number of the army of the horsemen were 600, Slakia, not 600, Slakia, were 200,000. And you read in NLT, it said, I heard the size of their army, which was 200 million mounted troops. So that represents the nuclear missiles, all right? And how do you know? Because when you read further, it describes when you see a missile shot off, this is what the Apostle John was describing in his own words. It's like, real quick, man. All right, verse 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them. Now, this is over 2,000 years ago that, Apostle John on the island Patmos was receiving this vision from the Lord. And he's describing what the missiles look like, They look like horses, And horses also represents power, And them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, okay, and of jacinth and of brimstone, so fire and brimstone. So when you look at a missile, type on YouTube, missile being shot off, and look at the videos. It has fire, brimstone coming out the back of it to propel it. And the heads of the horses were as heads of lions, and and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. So that's Apostle John describing a nuclear missile being shot off. All right. So there you go. Yeah, so, it's a little lesson. It's pretty much all I got. Shalom.